What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I'm just thinking about the Carl Frampton performance against an undefeated fighter at the time, Chris Avalos. He looked sensational, looked really good. And I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, Carl Frampton, he beat Kiko Martinez in a rematch. He just beat the shit out of Chris Avalos, who was undefeated and talked a lot about beating him and was confident. I look at Rigondeaux. He's doing what people haven't done in 22, 25 fights. He's doing that in like 10, 12 fights. He battled adversity, came back and made his opponent look disfigured in the Magasaw fight. He already has bodies like Joseph Ekbeko on his resume, Nonito Donaire, people he just really thoroughly outboxed. And Roberto Marroquin as another person. And then Scott Quigg, he was next to Frampton. He looked pretty big. He's undefeated. It's a decent sized fan base that he has. And then I think of Leo Santa Cruz. He's kind of like the black sheep of the division. And the reason I say that is because everybody of note, he's not fought them. And Leo Santa Cruz, I was really feeling his journey. I thought he was fighting the type of competition that he needed at that point in his career. He was moving up to the ranks, beating like veterans like Eric Morale, Victor Tereses. He fought Alexander Munoz, who was a veteran. Also Christian Mahares, Cesar Seda. And I thought that was a good path. But now people want to see him go to the next level. Like, okay, you beat those kind of guys. And he didn't do that. He kind of pulled up the e-brake and fought sparring partners. And it left a sour taste in people's mouth. Now, I'm thinking about it. Abner Mares just did an interview. I seen it floating around. I forgot who did it. And he says he wants to fight Leo Santa Cruz next. And I was thinking about it. Abner Mares, I believe, is on the Floyd Mayweather-Robert Guerrero card. He moved up from 22 to 26 to fight Daniel Ponce de Leon. And he beat him via stoppage. I thought he looked really good in that fight, actually. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to seeing Abner Mares at 22. So I wasn't really even thinking about that. So the more I started thinking about it, the more irritated I became, because I realized that Leo Santa Cruz is in a class full of killers. You got the Quiggs, you got Frampton, you got Rigondeaux, all undefeated, and some of which have called you out, if not all of them have called you out, right? And you mean to tell me that Abner Mares is saying he wants this fight? Leo Santa Cruz got bought out by Al Heyman to go with him exclusively, no Oscar De La Hoya, and he's been on record saying he wants to fight Abner Mares. I try to foreshadow, but this is not a fact. If Leo Santa Cruz decides to move up out of the division with 3 respectable fights that he could fight, Quigg, Scott Quigg, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and Carl Frampton. If he chooses to move up and instead fight Abner Mares, a guy who has had a little bit of a rocky road with switching trainers, and before that, like 2 fights ago, he got knocked out by Jhonny Gonzalez. He was scheduled for a rematch, and he pulled out with the injury, and conveniently, it was never rescheduled. So if Leo Santa Cruz chases an Abner Mares fight, even though stylistically it's not a bad fight, I'm not going to respect it at all. And I'm going to continue making videos and speaking my mind. Leo Santa Cruz follows me on Twitter. I don't care if he sees this. I don't respect that behavior if that is the case. And I don't know if it is the case, but I think it is very imperative Leo Santa Cruz's next opponent and his next move. Again, Abner Mares, not a bad fight for Leo Santa Cruz, but you cannot be a champion. And I'm not expecting everyone to stay in the division long enough where they wipe out every single person. Like Danny Garcia, he didn't fight everybody at 40, you know what I mean? But if he gets past Lamont Peterson and decides to move to welterweight, I'm not going to complain. He's been in there with Mauricio Herrera. He's been in there with Lucas Matisse, Eric Morales twice. He's been in there with the Kendall Holt. He's been in there with Amir Khan. So at that rate, if he beats Lamont Peterson and moves up, I'm not going to condemn him for it, even though he didn't fight guys like Victor Postal. But Leo Santa Cruz doesn't have those type of signature wins. Like, he has decent, good names, and then he has some sparring partners and people you never heard of, or fading fighters and whatnot. So if he runs from the fire and doesn't fight like a Frampton, a Quigg, or a Rigondeaux, I can't respect that. I don't think that's the champion behavior, especially to chase that in order to fight a guy like Abner Mares, who's a bit on the comeback trail. When you look at other guys like, look at Brandon Rios, for example. A lot of people like talk shit about him. Oh, he's a puncher bag, say whatever. But that man has heart, because He had a very tough fight, which I thought he lost against Richard Abril at 35. Moved up, what was his first fight at 140? Against a big puncher who was undefeated at the time, Mike Alvarado. Then moving forward, he lost to Mike Alvarado. What was his first fight at 147? Pacquiao, after being knocked out, but still being an elite fighter, it was Manny Pacquiao. So, I mean, he's going into a new division, taking on tough challenges. So, I'm not saying Abner Mares is not a tough challenge. However, Abner Mares needs to build himself back up after being knocked out a couple fights ago. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's a horrible look if Leo Santa Cruz runs away from these killers in his own division and immediately just tries to jump up. That's my personal opinion. I'm sticking by it. Make sure you like my video. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.